Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Grief and Loss in Big Island Lake First Nation. It's a wonderful time here, and we hope to be able to share some really good insights here to help people that are struggling with grief and loss all across the land. My workshop has reached over 1 million people, so this is a powerful workshop, and I hope that many of you will be blessed having this workshop in our land. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you guys some really heavy music because I am a professional Johnny Cash impersonator, and I am a professional Elvis Presley impersonator. So tomorrow, everybody gets the music. Today, we're going to learn a lot of good stuff. Just want to introduce myself before I get started. I come from a really hardened lifestyle. My life has not always been easy. I grew up abused. I grew up in a life of tragedy. I grew up in a life that was very difficult. I ended up in a boys' home at a young age, 12 years old, 13, 14, 15, 16. I was in a boys' home, and then I ended up on the streets of Regina. I spent about 2 or 3 years on the streets of Regina, and then I got involved with gang activity at a young age. My whole life started to take a downhill spiral. 16, 17, 18, 19, I ended up in gang activity. And then it started to increase as I got older. 20 and 21, it came to a head. When I turned 21, I ended up taking a man's life in Regina, Saskatchewan. And as a result, I ended up in the penitentiary for 15 years. Straight 15 years. When I got out, I made a decision. I want to be a better person, and I want to go out and help people so that they can have a better life. There's a lot of our people across the land that are suffering. They're suffering from addictions. They're suffering from anger. They're suffering from a lot of hurtful different things that are happening in their life. And they're also suffering from the loss of their loved ones. Today we're going to be learning about grief and loss, and we're going to find ways in coping. Last time I was here on Big Island Lake, things were a lot better than they are today. Since I was here, I lost my wife of 20 years. She passed away of kidney failure, and she was a Cree woman from Pelican Narrows, Saskatchewan. Fluent Cree speaker, wonderful woman, and she died on the 28th of August in 2019. And so when she passed away, I not only did I do the music for her funeral, but I also did the eulogy. I did the funeral itself. I did the whole funeral. And I found out that life can be very challenging when you lose someone that's so close to you. I know that many of you might have lost someone that's really close to you and find it very difficult. I don't teach from book knowledge, I teach from life experience. And so what that means is that I give you hands-on tools that are going to help you to heal and to have a better life and to be able to migrate through some of the grief and loss that you're going through in life. Today, I'm going to start off by sharing a few slides here to help you to get to learn a little bit about grief and loss. But before we do, we're going to open up in prayer just a little bit. And I utilized the addictions prayer, the serenity prayer. It's a really easy prayer to learn. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. When we start this workshop, one of the things that I like to tell people and explain to them and get them to the place that they understand is I address grief therapy. When we talk about grief therapy, it's tools to help you to heal. Because that's really important, having tools to heal. The first step in understanding what is happening to us and why we are feeling the way we feel is we must realize that a traumatic event has taken place. Grief is a traumatic event. Grief can be beautiful, but it can also be traumatic. And when you lose a loved one, we feel it in our body, we feel it in our mind, we feel it in all of our being. And sometimes it's very difficult. In our struggle with our emotions, we question ourselves. Is there something wrong with me? Am I going crazy? Why do I feel the way I feel? Will I get better? The answer to all of this is that you are one of the many who are experiencing the low, the hurt, and the reality of a loss. Our desire in this workshop, Grief and Loss Therapy, is to help individuals move towards creating balance in their lives. Now, what I mean when creating balance in your lives, it means you're able to go to work, whether it be you going to school, you're able to function and not have your grief overwhelm you. I know when I was grieving at one part in my life, I was working for a meat processing plant. And it was Friday afternoon. And I asked the boss, can I get off early? And the boss said, well, okay, finish up the meat tenderizing, tenderize the steaks, and then you can go home. So I had 3 steaks left to do. And I couldn't get the steaks to go through the tenderizer, so what did I do? I took my finger and I pushed the meat into the tenderizer, and it grabbed my fingers. And when it grabbed my fingers, I could feel like my whole hand was grabbed. And that's just the way grief and loss is. When we are losing someone in our life and we feel that pain, a lot of us around us feel that pain also. Our friends feel that pain. Our relatives feel that pain. A lot of people feel that pain. And so at the end of the day, we're not always alone. And the pain can get very intense. So one of the big things that I want to share before we get really deep into this workshop is I teach from 2 strategies that I've learned. One of the things that I teach from is very respectful strategy. I come to you as either a husband or I come to you as a father. And to most people in this land, I come as a father. And that's because I'm 61 years old and many people take me as an elder. And so I come with that mentality. Even though I do have humor, I'm not here to joke around. I'm not here to make fun of anything that we're talking about. I'm here to let you know that this work that we're doing is very serious, and we're going to reach hearts and souls here today. Souls that have been really traumatized by the loss of a loved one. And today and tomorrow and the next day, we're going to learn different coping strategies that are going to help us in our grief process. One of the things I like to tell people is, some people, when you go to a psychologist or something, sometimes the psychologist will say, well, just take this medication and you'll be okay. Just take this and everything will be okay. But that's just not the deal. The deal is you are suffering from losing someone that's been so close to you in your life. And so as a result, the pain needs to be nurtured. The pain inside of you needs to be nurtured. I want to help you guys with that throughout this workshop. And I thank you very much for allowing me to come into your community. This is a wonderful community. I've been here before and I love this community. And it's an amazing opportunity to come here and be able to be part of all this. And if anybody out there wants to learn about grief and loss and wants to be able to start their grieving process, you can feel free to give us a call, toll free, 855-544-2777. Thank you very much. Ego set.